basketball team. And there's some big time plays that were made on both sides. Long Beach State is, their experience is incredible, and they're savvy and making the extra pass. And, I felt like in the first half, the tough shots that they made deflated us somewhat, and we gave up easy shots to go with the tough shots. My challenge to the guys at halftime was, we told you going in they're going to hit some of those shots. That's the way they play, and Casper Ware's those shot he hit before halftime is incredible. But we can't be defeated when they hit a tough shot. We've got to take away the easy ones. And I just thought we defended much better the second half. Austin Chapman was outstanding coming in, and so we didn't have to leave Antoine unaware the entire time. We just finally made some stops when we needed them at the end. I think they only scored on one of their last 6 possessions. We executed some pretty good offense. Doug was as active as he's been all year in the backboards. And once again, we didn't shoot it well from the three-point line. We made one more shot than we did at Evansville. We were 4 of 22 there. We're 5 of 23 here. Those 9 threes that Ethan Rocky had, I would take every single night. That's as good a shot as we can get as an offensive basketball team. Johans had good looks. So it's good to win a game when you're not shooting it as well as you're capable of shooting it, but we did a lot of other things when we had to.
Greg, can you talk about the last play, how you wanted it set up with Antoine?
Well, the most important thing was the way they were throwing in shots is if we were going to take the last shot. I would have been, I'd have been more disappointed if we'd given them 4 or 5 seconds than I would have been if we'd have shot it after the horn. That's how bad I did not want them to have the ball in their hands with their ability to attack and hit tough shots. So we waited probably a little longer than you'd normally wait. We set the ball screen thinking that they would switch it. And we're going to try to get Doug quickly into the post and lift Ethan out of the corner. And either it's going to Ethan and into Doug, or if Antoine felt it, he was just going to back it out. We're going to flatten it out and let him go against the big, knowing full well that you're not going to turn it over there and you're going to get a shot at the basket. And, Antoine's pretty crafty at those kind of shots. And, a fitting way, in my opinion, for him to end a very good career at Creighton. He's got one more home game here left on Tuesday, but this is one he'll remember for the rest of his life.
How tough was it for you guys to refocus after you figured out it wasn't the end of the game? There's still a little bit of time left.
Well, fortunately, they had to do some cleanup on the floor, so it gave us some time to get our wits about us. And I told Will, last thing I told him, you tip it, this game's over. And he did a good job sitting on his right hand and got a hand on the basketball. And that's that way nothing crazy was going to happen.
Can you talk about Doug's performance in the second half? He didn't miss a shot at the free throw line or from the field, and his rebounds.
The thing, and he said it, and I was going to say it, I felt his effort on the backboards fueled the rest of his game. He came flying on some offensive rebounds against as good a rebounding team as one of the better teams we faced all year. They're long, they're athletic, they're getting rebounds above the rim, and Doug went and got some offensive rebounds in the middle of all those athletes and was able to finish the play. Greg Rechinika got some big offensive rebounds at critical times, but Doug was on a mission tonight. I think that was obvious. He wanted the basketball. He made pretty good decisions when he had the ball in there, and made some tough shots against some pretty athletic players.
You had cut it to 1, all of a sudden it got back out to like 71-64. They had a chance to get some separation. Just talk about the toughness you guys showed at that point.
Well, you need stops. That's the bottom line. If I'm not mistaken, we turned it over coming down in transition, down 1. Josh had Doug in the post, and they tipped it and went down and got a layup. But we've talked ever since our 3-game losing streak of, let's go 1-0 every play. Let's try to make sure we get the shot that we want every possession. Doesn't mean it's going to go in, but let's try to maximize every offensive possession. And defensively, let's try to go 1-0 this possession. Let's try to make them take the shot that we want them to take, rather than the shot that they want to take. And to Long Beach's credit, they hit some difficult, well-guarded shots. At least I felt they were well-guarded. We'll see what the tape says, but we beat it. If that team's not an NCAA tournament team, I don't know what is. I don't know what one looks like. Because the team that came in and beat us last week, Wichita State's very talented. This team is equally as talented. We just played a little better tonight.
There's been a lot of debate about the worthiness of the bracket buster event. Does this game kind of give a compelling argument for the reason to have it?
I think it generates some excitement for schools and conferences like ours. Had I lost it, my answer might have been a little different. You know, it gave us both an opportunity. Obviously, it's two teams that have had a great year to this point. They're contrasting styles. It's a style we haven't necessarily seen this year. I think we probably play a little different than most of the teams in their league. So that makes for some good basketball, and I think across Bracket Buster, I haven't seen a lot of the scores, but there were some really good basketball games today. And you know, the best thing for us, and I think for Long Beach, if members of the NCAA committee had an opportunity to watch that game tonight, they've got to feel like they just watched two NCAA tournament teams. Those, you know, what Long Beach did coming into this environment, and as well as they played, and what we were able to do to come back in a game when we were down like that. That's what good teams are supposed to do, and those were two very good basketball teams throwing punches at each other tonight.
Greg, you've been part of some good atmospheres here in your 2 years. It seemed like tonight there was a little extra.
This one was the best. It was over the top, and you know, we were tired. We had some guys log some big minutes, and you know, our crowd gave us the extra boost that we needed in the last 3 minutes of that game. They were up on their feet every defensive possession. They let the referees know how they felt about a few calls, and all that is important.
From your vantage point, Antoine's shot, good all the way.
I was right behind it, and you know, Antoine's got a way of creating that separation with some strength, and then he can kind of rock back and shoot that shot. And you know, I thought he did exactly what we wanted him to do. We wanted that light to go off as the ball was in the air. I wasn't interested in an offensive rebound or anything like that. We were either going to win it or we were going to overtime.
You talk about Gregory coming back in after getting hurt again, that little hook to go inside.
Huge basket, and a great pass. You know, came down the floor, and they're worried about our shooters, and Doug, they're staying close to Doug. And I didn't think Gregory posted up with as much urgency as he has in some of the last games. I thought he was posting in space some, and on that particular play, he buried the guy, he wanted the basketball. They didn't come with the double team, and he made it pay for it.
Any other questions?
Thank you.